Hello and welcome back to our U.S. History series here on Cerebri Learning. This week we'll be covering the Second World War, the years 1942 and 1943. In our last video, we discussed the beginning of the war, and we ended it on the bombing of Pearl Harbor. If you want, you can go watch that one to get a better understanding of this video. It's the year 1942, and the United States and the Soviet Union have just entered the war. At the same time, Japan attacked Pearl Harbor, Hawaii, and they also attacked Allied colonies in the area. 1942 saw the Japanese invade the Philippines, take the Dutch East Indies, as well as begin a bombing raid of Australia where hundreds died. U.S. General Douglas MacArthur was forced to flee the Philippines in March, and the islands were soon taken. April saw the Bataan Death March occur, which was the Japanese brutally marching 80,000 Filipino and American troops, many to their deaths. Thousands of them died due to exhaustion and brutality by their captors. The Allies had more success later on in that year in the Pacific, however, with major victories at the battles of the Coral Sea, Guadalcanal, and on the island of Midway. Meanwhile, in Europe, Germany and its allies are continuing their invasion of the USSR, killing millions in their path. They also began an invasion of the small British-held island of Malta to the south of Italy. In North Africa, the Nazis defeated the Allies at the Battle of Tobruk. However, soon they were retreating from the region due to a decisive Allied victory at El Alamein, Egypt. The massive German invasion of Russia was also halted that year at the city of Stalingrad. That battle would eventually become the deadliest battle in history, with over 1 million casualties. By the end of the battle, the following year, the Soviet army encircled large parts of the German army, causing the invasion to end. The next year saw fighting in other parts of Russia, as well as the surrender of Nazi troops in North Africa. Resistance movements in Nazi-occupied places like Poland and France also began to pop up. Meanwhile, in Italy, the Allies took Sicily and began to advance across the country. The Italian people began to rebel against Mussolini, and in July he was arrested. The Nazis were intent on stopping Italy from making a peace deal, so they invaded and popped up a puppet regime. The Allies soon took much of southern Italy, and the USSR began to push back and retake the Caucasus and Ukraine. Nazi troops on all sides were getting heavily beaten back. The Allies also saw some success in the Pacific, where their strategy of island hopping proved effective. This was the strategy of slowly capturing important islands from the Japanese. The Tehran Conference saw U.S. President Franklin Roosevelt, UK Prime Minister Winston Churchill, and Soviet dictator Joseph Stalin meet to plan the next steps of the war. All of this showed the tide of war shift towards the Allies, as the war began to come to a close. Stay tuned for next week's video, which will be part 3. We here at Cerebri Learning would like to thank you for watching this video, and if you like this, check out some of our other content, like our physics series, or some of our standalone videos. Make sure to like and subscribe if you enjoyed this video, and also be on the lookout for future series. Our full bibliography will also be in the description down below. We've included some other useful resources for those of you who'd like to learn more.